Hey, my name's Richie,
And I'm X.
and we are two guys talking games.
Yeah. Ooh, it's about time we
X,
did this
man.
bad boy.
Yeah, man. What's up? What's going on with you, man?
Ah, man, just I just finished doing some GTA. I was when you texted me, I was in the middle of a little club hopping. I was doing a little strip club,
You
Listen,
can't get out of that strip
hey,
club.
listen. Doing the missions is one thing, but exploring the game, it's another. There's principalities in this.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk a little later. This is what's funny. We're gonna talk a little later about our first 5 hours with GTA,
Yes.
and I believe your first 5 hours are gonna be in the strip club.
Oh well, not all 5 hours.
Did you do any
I
missions?
did, I did.
Okay, in the strip club.
No, actually, no. But I did play the minigame.
Oh
I did play
man.
the
Well,
minigame.
I did too, so I can't pick any about that. But all right. Well, we're basically doing this because X and I have been into gaming for a long time. We've been listening to podcasts and we're a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Especially with as we spoke about IGN.
Yes. Oh
We
God.
are sticking you guys out.
Yes. IGN, man. Oh man. They've really taken a huge
Oh
downturn, man. They really have. They really have. And
yeah,
I've been gaming for like 28 years now. Ever since I was a little
yeah.
kid. Ever since the original NES, I remember going to the stores and picking up the magazines, picking up
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Power. You know,
Yeah.
uh, 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 all the gaming magazines I could get my hands on, just so I could read the reviews and go buy the reviews. And man, were there a lot of times I got burned. I got brinked. Sorry,
Oh.
let me just say that. Many
Oh
times I got
man.
brinked. But
Just to explain what Brinked is, just for any listeners,
see, brink
please.
is somebody had this brilliant idea that he would get one up on me and one up on Chaotic Savage and who's
And all
someone
our
who
gaming
we
buddies.
game with, our gaming buddies. He thought he was gonna like, oh man, this game looks awesome, man. Let me go pick it up day one. No reviews. There are clear signs when a game is gonna just stink. And
Oh
and
man,
and man, you just went out there and picked
it
it
was
up.
$60.
$60.
It wasn't even on
It was
sale.
a $60 day one brink.
Oh
That was the
man.
game, of course, called Brink, and wow, what a
Oh,
horrible game that was.
yeah, that was bad.
So I
That was a
mean,
bad investment, man. I was really if it was an arcade game, if it was $20, if they pulled a Section 8, I think it would have been a decent game. But all I kept thinking was, this is not a $60 game. But lesson learned. Now, so every time we get screwed on a game where a game turns out where it sucks, we'll refer to it
as a
as
Brink,
getting
getting
brinked.
brinked, yes.
So X, I want to know, I want to hear about your gaming history. Why are you an authority on doing a podcast about video games?
Man,
Tell me, man.
like I said, I was gaming
Yep.
for 28 years,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since I was a kid, and it was just I got sick and tired of all these magazines. For one, because that's how they started. They didn't have podcasts. They didn't have, of course, back then they didn't
No,
have
you're
the
right.
internet, so you couldn't look anything
No
up.
computer. That's true.
And you would just get these horrible reviews. I remember there was one. It was like a little caveman for the original Nintendo, and he
Yeah.
would go around jumping, and you couldn't even hit anything. They're like, "Oh, that's a great game. This is and that." I had my parents go out and buy it for me. Man, was that a brink? That was an original brink for me. That's what that was. That was an original brink, and
That was an old
that
school
was an
brink.
old school brink, man. And up to today, and I've
Yeah.
owned every single system. I
Yeah.
literally have owned every single system. I wasn't spoiled as a kid, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do and get certain things for Christmas.
No,
But
I hear you, man. I hear you. You've owned more systems than I have.
yeah,
That's for sure.
and I've played the games. I've
Did
played
you
the games.
hit the arcades?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
huh?
remember playing Street Fighter 2. Well, Super
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2 up on well, Street Fighter 2, yeah, on the arcade, and Samurai
Yeah, yeah.
Showdown on the arcade, Narc. I used to play
Yep.
all them games on back in the 80s in the arcades, and I never really got into pinball, but it was all pretty
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
the arcade games. The original, the X-Men, four
Oh,
player,
yeah.
huge. They put up like this big screen, a big ass,
Yeah, yeah,
arcade
yeah.
machine, and you'd be there and just dropping quarters. By the end of the day, you drop $30, $40. You save up your
Oh,
allowances a
man.
couple weeks. There it goes.
Yeah, we go right back to the arcade, man. Right back. That had to be early 80s,
Yeah,
right? Was that what that
it was
was?
mid to late 80s for
Right?
the X-Men one and for this the Street Fighter and the Samurai Showdown. Just
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
Mortal Kombat when it first came out
Mortal
in
Kombat, that was
arcades. Oh
huge.
my
Yeah.
god. I was
Oh
there.
my
I was there,
gosh,
and
that was
that was not a
huge.
controversial game. But well,
Remember
back then,
Defender and oh man, Tempest,
yeah.
Tempest, and my brother was really he was a Donkey Kong guy.
Ah,
He all he played was Donkey Kong, and all I played was Miss Pac-Man. And we put the quarters up on the top of the machine
yep.
all the way across. And looking back now, I don't know why anyone didn't come up and say, "Hey, I got the next game." I played for hours, and no one ever said anything. People would watch me play, but no one ever came up and said, I was 10 or 11 or whatever I was. I was tiny, but all I played was Miss Pac-Man, and then occasionally I played, Defender, Tempest, and then they closed.
Oh, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Oh man, you ain't a Miss Pac-Man fan, are you? I don't know why I played that.
Damn toothpick.
I don't know why. I don't want to know why I played a more manly game. Like what?
I can picture you at
I couldn't even play
11.
Pac-Man. Why did I pick Miss Pac-Man? Yeah, it's like what the hell. But I played the crap out of that game. My brother played Donkey Kong. Man, he was like we were both like the authorities on those two games. And then the Atari 2600 came out, and after that came out, man,
That's it, huh?
the arcades kind of died, man. I still can't remember the system I had. I had the Atari 2600. I took a break for probably about 10 years, man. And in mid 90s, I went out and bought something that I played Mortal Kombat on and Altered Beast. But I don't know the name of the system. If it's a Nintendo or was it the original PlayStation?
Was it the original PlayStation? Was it rectangular and gray with the two circles down at the bottom that would be one would be eject and it would lift up the little thing and you'd put the disc?
Yes, I believe that was
original
it.
PlayStation. Yes,
I believe that was what it was, and that I played that a lot for a couple years, and then again disappeared until my wife got me an Xbox Christmas of '02, and then you could just say goodbye to my life.
Met Halo, and that was about it.
Dude, once Halo was started, game over, man. I'm just no offense to PlayStation because I got myself a PS3. We're not fanboys. We got both systems, but it is what it is, man. Once Halo came out, it was pretty much game over.
You have to give props where props are due.
Yes,
you do. And there was nothing before Halo.
No,
there really
like that.
wasn't. I mean, people could sit there and argue, GoldenEye for the other systems was good shooter. Yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Halo.
Yeah, I did hear that.
With the vehicles, with the no, it was not Halo. There's no way. Halo, I believe, started the whole shooting genre's popularity.
Yeah.
Popularity.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking. It really, it definitely started something, man. That was just a groundbreaking
especially
game.
Halo 2, when Xbox Live came out, there was nothing else like it. There was nothing else like it. Nothing else like Halo 2 at the time.
Yep.
Multiplayer. Everybody and their mother was on that. Everybody.
Dude, that's all I did. Dude, I would call in sick because I was up like the night before, playing until 2, 3 in the morning. I would call sick to work, man. I can't work. I got to play me some Halo 2. I logged in. I believe the number was 8,600 games.
Yeah.
That's what I logged in to Halo 2 before I jumped to 3.
Yeah.
And I'm sure yours is similar. That's all we played.
That was it, man. That was it. And there was no Call of Duties back then. There was no, all these other shooters that are out now that they're trying to, and you know what I find interesting, and here's where you got to give props to.
Yeah.
The Halo 1 control scheme.
Oh,
where
yes.
the buttons were.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
Every other game that came out after that used that same control scheme.
It's the same
You
setup.
can't argue that. You can't. You really, really can't. Go back
No,
to
you're right.
2001 when Halo 1
Yep.
first came out and tell me what other games out there was using that control scheme for a shooter. None.
Yeah, there were none. There were
Every
none,
other
man.
single game that has come out. That's why I
Yeah.
say, all the games, you got to give props where props is due.
Yep.
I'm not I'm not a fanboy, but props is
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. Everyone can agree that Halo changed the course of gaming, especially with consoles. I mean, it changed. I mean, Rainbow Six was on the PC,
Yeah.
but Halo, and that was what put Xbox on the map. And the reason why I picked Xbox was because of the name.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna laugh because your name's X, but but I remember my wife's like, if you had a gaming console, would it be a PS3 or Xbox? Well, I like Xbox because first of all, X is forbidden.
Forbidden.
The rated X movies or something like that. I don't even know what that even means, but and Xbox was the mystery console.
Yeah.
And everyone and their mother had a PS3. No one had an Xbox.
Yeah, a PS2.
When it first came out. I'm sorry, if that's right, PS2. No, everyone had a PS2. My buddy Mike, PlayStation 2. Get one. I'm like, you know what? I want to try out this other one from Microsoft. Microsoft was backing it. It couldn't be that bad, right?
But see, I wasn't one that picked up Halo on day one. I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't because I was all PlayStation 2. I
Yeah,
was all PlayStation 2. That is all that I had. I had my PlayStation 2. I was playing San Andreas. I was playing Vice City. I was doing all my GTAs. I would play, my Mortal Kombat's on it. That's what I had.
Yeah.
I was a PlayStation just fanatic, just a whore.
Yeah.
You know what
junkie.
I mean?
Yeah. I know. Didn't your brother-in-law, right?
Chaotic Savage.
Yep. That's it. Adrian.
And
check this out, man.
I go over, man, and he's playing it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh. He's like, all right, pick up a controller, and he had the Dukes. The massive controllers.
Yeah. Was that the S controller?
No,
was that what? No, the new one is the S controller.
Was the smaller one that came out later.
Okay.
This is the Duke. This is the huge. You need mammoth hands to hold this thing.
I remember that, man. I remember that.
I love that damn controller. I
prefer that one.
It just felt, just more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it did.
And man, as soon as I played that first game, I went to the store and picked up an Xbox and picked up Halo.
Dude, you're making me want to break out Halo and play the campaign again.
I'm just saying, man. This is what happened. This is how I met Halo. And for me, after that, I was done. It was done. I still had my PS2. I played that. I played both. Xbox 360 came out. Grabbed the Xbox 360. I didn't get day one PS3. I did not because that was $600. And now spend $600 on no. I picked it up.
That's a lot of money, man.
I picked it up a little after when Gears came out. I picked up a PS3, did some Resistance, did a couple games on them. And I still have my PS3,
You played Metal Gear 4, right?
Of course, I played Metal Gear 4.
Yeah.
I'm a big Metal Gear fan. That's why I had my PlayStation 2 with and my PlayStation 1.
See, that's one game I always wanted to get into Metal Gear. I think your Metal Gear was my Splinter Cell.
Probably.
Which is kind of crazy because you played Blacklist and I didn't.
Yeah, see?
It's definitely a game I got to get into. But all right, well, you recently played on the Vita. You played Killzone Mercenary.
Yes.
And you wrote up somewhat of a kind of review on it, and I want to hear from what you said to me briefly last few days. You said it was a good game.
Yeah.
But I want to hear some details, some thoughts on it, because the reviews are decent.
Thought number one. If you do not own a Vita, run out to your stores, your local store, and purchase a Vita just for this one game. I have to give it up to them. This is one hell of a game. They, that's the thing about Sony. They might not have a lot of exclusives.
Yeah.
But when they,
when they do,
damn, it's awesome. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, they hit it out of the park.
Man.
Yeah, they really do. So it's a system
It
seller.
is. This one is definitely
Yeah, huh?
it is definitely a system seller. If you're a big shooter fan and you're looking for
Yeah.
that portable shooter that you could go anywhere on the Wi-Fi, wherever, at work. I do
Yeah.
at work. you know,
Well, we got breaks, we got lunch,
you gotta do what you gotta do. I actually do it while I'm working, but at work or at school, whenever or wherever, this is definitely
Yeah.
the game to purchase for the Vita. I mean,
Man.
it's the campaign. The campaign
Yeah.
was a little short. It was around 5 hours.
Really?
It was rather short. It was like just a couple
Yeah.
missions and it was
Can I ask you something? Do they keep track of your time
Yes,
in the
yes, they
campaign?
do.
Okay, so you can actually see the actual exact
in
time.
your
Okay.
stats. It actually shows how much you've played the game. And I, of course,
Okay.
I did a little bit of multiplayer in the beginning, but I didn't touch multiplayer until after I did the campaign. So I know my hours is around 5 hours to finish the campaign.
All right.
And I mean, the campaign it had a couple quirks. It had it is 2013. It's a gripe of mine personally that when I'm playing a game and I'm given options on how to do certain missions, if I do it wrong, I don't want to reload the whole mission. Give me a return to a recent checkpoint. You know what
checkpoint,
I mean?
sure.
Give me that at least, and.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But the AIs, I have no complaints. The AI was phenomenal in the game. The storyline is decent. If you've been following the Killzone storyline, this is a great little arc.
Really?
Little
Okay.
continuation. It's like while
Yeah.
everything else is going on, this is happening over here.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
it's an awesome story.
So if you quit during a mission,
Yeah.
you when you return to the game, like say you quit today, you go back in tomorrow, and you were mid mission. Are you go back all the way to the beginning of that mission?
See, the thing is, I didn't turn off my system mid missions. That's me personally. I never do.
Okay. So
I always finish the missions when I'm done with the mission. If I gotta go, then I'll turn it off.
Right.
I'm not one to leave. I can't because then if I go somewhere, I'm like, oh man, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. You want to wrap up that particular mission. Okay. Okay.
Multiplayer. Oh my god, multiplayer is definitely.
Man.
I hardly touched. Now this says something because I'm always on my systems. I'm always either on my PS3 or on my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And people on my friends list could attest to this. If they're listening to this, they'll know it's true. When this game came out, I did not log on at all. It was
I was actually gonna comment on that. I noticed that because whenever I went on, it would say stuff like big phenom on 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening here? Because real gamers are even if we don't get a chance to game every day, we usually go on just to see what's up.
Yeah, no,
almost every day. So
I mean, this not since now another decent shooter type game. It had no multiplayer, of course, but a great game I have to mention was Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And since then, because I am a big portable gaming fan.
Yeah.
I'm huge. I've owned, of course, every single portable gaming device. Ever since then, man, I would say this game is just stellar. It really is. Multiplayer. I was on multiplayer. I was just on multiplayer. If I wasn't doing campaign, going back trying to get trophies because I'm a big trophy and achievement whore.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there.
Did you break 100,000
yet? Not yet.
Okay, you got to be close, though, right?
And it's hard because there's a lot of damn portable gaming out there.
That's true. That's true, man.
And
that's true.
I gotta say, I spent all week until GTA came out. While I was at home, it was nothing but but
Now, would you go
Mercedes.
so far to say it's out of a 10? Would you say like it's like a 9, or you think that's high? That's high for a score.
For this game,
Yeah, if you had to give it a
I would have
score.
to give it a 9.5.
Oh wow,
I
that's
would have to
great.
give it a 9.5, and I stick with what I'm saying. This game is the system seller. The
Wow.
system seller. If you are a shooting fan, if you're a shooter,
Yes.
pick up the
See, now you
Vita
got
and
me.
play
Geez,
this
don't be
game.
telling
I'm
me that,
telling you,
man.
man. I'm telling you. Me personally, I go to my in-laws, in the weekends, and I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
lugging my box. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
can't.
be.
You can't. Yeah.
But I do lug my Vita.
Yeah.
And right
Yeah.
now with this game, yeah, it's
See,
a
that's really cool because I mean I was on the verge of getting a 3DS just because of Resident Evil Revelations, and I got to give it to PlayStation. Their portables they usually start off slow and then they pick up, and like you said, they don't have a lot of AAA titles on their portable systems, but when they do come out with a good game, it's like
it's
they
phenomenal.
just blow it out of the park,
It
man. It's
is.
just
It
so.
really is.
I mean,
And I
man,
of course had the PSP. I had the brick. I had the big brick.
yeah,
The
yeah,
PSP. I still got it.
yeah.
And one of the games I would love to play on it is SOCOM.
Oh yeah, yep.
Of course, I'm a big shooter fan. So I play SOCOM, and man, I've always hated the whole you got to hit the buttons to look up, left, and. And with the
Yeah,
Vita,
yeah,
I'm hoping if they do make more SOCOMs, I hope they do, and I hope that when they make it for the Vita, that's gonna be another one day one. All
yeah.
these
They got to
shooters.
change it because don't they have two sticks now
Yes, yes,
on the
yes.
Vita?
The
I
Vita has
mean,
two sticks. That's why
yeah.
it's a
So I mean,
great
I could see
shooting.
that.
A little console now.
Oh, you know what I wanted to comment on is for listeners, go onto our Facebook page. Just facebook.com/ two guys talking games. You literally type in the word two and it'll come right up. But go on to the Facebook page and check out what the X-Man did here with the the Vita system itself. See, he made the system look like the old school Xbox controller,
Yes.
like we were just talking about. It's just got these two handles on it, and it looks great. And I put photos up on our Facebook page of that, and man,
Yes.
it
Well,
just looks very cool.
I had to because just
Yeah,
holding. See, I got pretty big hands. I'm sure there's a
yeah,
lot of gamers out there with
yeah,
the
oh,
same
yeah,
problem. You got the big hands, and to hold these
yep,
small little portable devices,
yep,
you'll end up with cramps. Your hands,
yeah,
your fingers, everything's gonna hurt. And I had to finagle some stuff. I had to MacGyver a couple things. And they
yeah,
sell the little small little handles for the Vita that you could kind
hmm,
of hold better the Vita when you're playing shooters, and that wasn't good
yeah,
enough. I had to, and
yeah.
it wasn't just for this game that I did it. I actually did it for Call of Duty, the Black Ops
Hmm,
Declassified,
hmm,
which
hmm,
that's another gripe I have with these reviewers, but I'll get to that
yeah,
in a moment. I
yeah.
had to MacGyver this little holder into a controller. So my Vita, literally, when I put it into the little controller, it literally looks like a big Duke controller, hand controller, with the big screen in the middle. And
Dang, man,
it is perfect. I molded it to my hands, and all I used was tape. All I
man.
used was tape,
But
a whole lot of tape, but it is
yeah, yeah.
sturdy and it's awesome. It is just
I could see
awesome.
Sony seeing that and saying, "Hey, wait a
Hey,
minute."
listen. I'm not selling that, Sony, so I don't want to hear nothing. Oh, you have to give us money
Yeah. Oh
now.
no,
I'm like,
no,
no.
no,
You know,
no. As long as you ain't making those things for profit and saying that it's the Vita system's better because of this item or something like that,
I will
I think you're
say
safe.
my system, my Vita
Your
system
system's
is
better. That's
better with
right.
this. Yes,
That's right.
yes.
That's right.
And like I was saying, man, when it comes to reviews, like look at
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Black Ops Declassified for the Vita. You know,
Oh, that
I
got
didn't pick it. I didn't
trashed.
pick it up day one because I listened to IGN. They gave it a 4.
Yeah.
They gave this game a 4. And,
Wow.
I was like, man, that's messed up. They why did they give it a 4? So I went on YouTube. I saw community videos, what people say about the game. I heard their reviews, and I saw a gameplay, and I'm looking. I'm like, this doesn't look like a 4. The game looks like like a 6.5, 7, 7.5
Sure.
maybe in a good day. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna pick it up. I picked it up. Man, the campaign was good.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer was decent. It's typical Call of Duty. You're running around, short, small maps, shooting. They're half the scale of the original Black Ops maps. They're half scale.
Oh wow.
It's like if you get the map, you cut it in half. It's 4-on-4. You know what I mean? And it wasn't bad. You're running around, you're shooting, and you just keep running. That's just how Call of Duty is.
Yeah.
So I'm playing this game, and I'm thinking to myself, why the hell did they give it a 4? It wasn't.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is like, what could you have possibly seen? Why when you're playing a game, could they have said that? Was there something specific that you think they kind of?
Okay, granted, the graphics weren't the best. The graphics were not the best. The game might have been a little bit rushed, but the gameplay was there. The gameplay was typical Call of Duty. The multiplayer was typical Call of Duty, and I lugged some hours on that. So I'm like, it's these damn review sites. They have to have. These big companies have to have their hands in their pockets or something, Something.
That's I'm thinking. I don't know for sure. I mean, I can't comment for sure, but I do think that sometimes. Where gosh, why is this review so low? And then you go onto another site and it's so not low. And
the game
how do they come up with that score? Yeah, and like we just said earlier, IGN, lately in the last few years or so, some of the reviews have just been so off. But I do think reviews are an opinion, but how can the opinion be so low compared to the majority sometimes? That's the only thing that I and again, this is our opinion on their site.
On their opinion. And we
exactly.
Feel,
so it's not
wrong, and it hasn't been just a lately thing. It hasn't. It really hasn't.
No, you're right.
This dates back a couple of years. Case in point, Shadowrun for the Xbox 360.
Oh, don't even get me started on Shadowrun.
That has been the only game that throughout Shadowrun came out in 2007. May 2007.
May of 07. Okay? That's correct.
And that has been the only game from way back then that I still put into my Xbox 360. And
that's probably the oldest.
And I still play it.
That's it. You're right. That's the oldest multiplayer that at any given time, if you send me a message, if Adrian sends me a message, let's play some Shadowrun, man. Without doubt, just put that in. And I think the community is still there because of that tie-in with the PC players. It's just how
that was awesome. That was awesome.
Great game.
I was all PC and Xbox 360 all playing together. The servers are still up. They're not bots. They're actual people because you could still get your achievements off of them. Last year when I was playing on my laptop at work, of course, because I do a lot of my gaming at work.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm playing. I'm online, and bloop, got an achievement. Playing on my laptop. You have to play it X amount of time with somebody that's on the console, or vice versa. And boop, I got my achievement. Okay. After all these years.
After all those years.
After all these years. I mean, really? It's
that's kind of cool, man. That's good. I don't have that achievement.
They're not bots. They're not $8 bagel. Because you could tell.
I play $8 bagel all the time, man. Because, see, that's the good thing, though. There is the option of bots. And I will say this. First of all, I believe, I play bots on Shadowrun more than the actual human multiplayer side because I suck. That's my opinion. But the bots are actually pretty good because when you play bots on hard difficulty,
man, do they?
It's almost worse. Yes. It's almost worse than human because a human, if you're hiding somewhere, a human, most of the time a human player will run right past you, but the bots, it's like they sense you. Like they'll run away from, they'll run right by you and they'll just turn around and look right at you and kill you.
Yeah.
It's like, so the bots are pretty good. And if you want to get some good practice on the game, I would suggest bots before you go online, just to play around with all the the cool magic and what a great game, man! I'll tell you, great game.
Situation that happened that they lost the developer shut down, so no DLC, no maps or anything. But the game still has its servers up. It is an awesome game, and
is that
whomever has not played this game before, they have not.
Yeah.
They're doing themselves a great disservice by not doing it. By not have played.
I agree.
And
they can get it for cheap too. I'm sure.
Yes.
What's the is it FASA?
Yes, it was FASA.
Isn't it FASA Studios? Right.
They shut down. Of course, Microsoft owns them, and they own the license. Yeah. They're not doing anything with it. Don't know why. Which
doesn't make sense. I mean, they can come out with another Shadowrun and maybe they're just basing it on that game, saying, "Oh, this game sold X amount of copies. Let's move on." But I just, man, everyone who's played it that I know thought the game was great.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. But again, this is our opinion.
But the game still has to be good. If you go online on it, if you go to play this game, and there's still people playing,
right.
There's
got to be a reason for that.
A lot of people playing this game.
Right. It's not like, let's play Shadowrun. Why? Because it sucks.
No.
No. It just, it's a great game. That's why we still play it, 7 years after the fact or 6 years after the fact. But, what are you going to do, Grand Theft Auto 5. Before we talk about the first 5 hours that we've experienced.
Come out with that damn strip club.
Did you see the numbers? The $1 billion from 3 days of sales. Now, let me just say, when I read that, I thought, okay, Black Ops 2, I thought they were kind of the king of the, making the money, right? The Call of Duty franchise, Black Ops 2 made $500 million in the first 24 hours. Now, I thought GTA 5 would make about that, maybe 550, 600. Okay, not 800. I mean, 800 is 300 million more, right? And then it hits $1 billion in 3 days. Black Ops 2 didn't hit $1 billion until the 15th day mark. I mean, you're talking, over 2 weeks this game, Black Ops 2, took to reach $1 billion in sales. It took GTA 5 3 days. Now, this goes to show you that video games are the main event.
They are. They really are. They really are. They've evolved.
Really,
they really have evolved.
Yeah, it's when a video game, and I put this up on our page this morning. When a video game is the main event out of any entertainment piece of entertainment, I mean, nothing sells $1 billion worth in 3 days. I mean, they're commenting on Avatar and the last Harry Potter movie, how I believe it took 17 days of movie sales to reach that amount of money. You're talking a video game. I mean, 24 hours, $800 million.
Yeah.
That is absurd. Yeah. I cannot believe. So, it's like every other person on my block owns this game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know what? I really think that's how come the media, the whole news has stayed away from GTA 5.
Yeah.
Because look at a couple of years ago when San Andreas came out, okay? And they had all this controversy on hot coffee and hot coffee was ridiculous. Hot coffee was you standing in a room, a torture type room, like in bondage, and I was like, really? That's what you were griping about online, not online, but on TV and the news and CNN, and they were all like, oh my God, her video games done this, and it was all in the newspapers. And now
it's a mature game.
Now
so
you have GTA 5. Yeah, GTA 5 is a lot worse than San Andreas. It really is, from what it was back then, Mm-hmm. And they cannot, they can't do anything about it. And now when they're seeing the numbers, they really can't
Uh,
do anything about it because they're really,
what are they gonna say?
you know what I mean. Now
Yep.
I bet you if it was a mediocre game and it wasn't selling much and it was a game that was trying to do all this,
Right.
they would gripe about it big time.
They can open up their mouth and say something. I just don't understand. I mean, if a 14-year-old is playing this game, you know, it's not the developer's problem. That's like saying, I have a 15-year-old son who him and his friends went to go see Saw,
Yeah.
and then he comes home and he's terrorized by this movie, and I complain to the movie company. I can't believe you put this movie out. My son saw it. And the movie company is going to say, how old's your son? 15. Well, why'd you let him see the movie?
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm going to say about GTA 5. Now, I'm an adult. You're an adult. So you make choices. Yeah, I play the game. I love video games. You know what? If there's things in a game that I don't agree with, I bought the game. That's on me. That was my choice, my decision. I also don't take things in the game quite as serious as probably a 14-year-old
Right.
would. So that's on the parents, man.
That is on the parents.
That's bad parenting.
is.
Don't let your kid buy the darn game. Wait till the kid's 18 or
See,
whatever.
the thing is, the kid can't buy this game unless mommy and daddy buy it for him.
And mommy and daddy aren't involved enough to know what type of game it is.
Exactly.
And that's how we have a one up on the average parents, because we know firsthand what the game's like. So say your son, when he turns 16, 18, he says, Dad, can I play Halo 15? Whatever's out in 10 years.
It'll probably be Halo 9 by then or 10.
Yeah. You're not going to say, yeah, whatever, son, because you don't know. You're going to say, when I'm done with the campaign, you can.
Pretty damn much. Pretty much.
Because you're going to know what's in the game.
Of course.
So it's different. But anyway, so the first 5 hours of the game, I got my impressions. You want to go first and let me know what you thought of your first 5 hours, what you experienced, what you liked, and what you didn't like.
This is how I play. This is how I play my games. Games like that. Like I did it with GTA 4. I did it with basically all the GTAs. I did it with Skyrim, Oblivion. I did it with the big Fallout 3. I did the same thing. I tend to shy away from doing the missions at first. I might do I might limit it to 5 or 10 missions, so I can progress a little bit and things will open up for me. But then all I like doing is exploring first. I do.
Okay.
I like going. Go fly a plane, or go fly the blimp, or try some skydiving, and see if I could live, if I'm up as high as I could get, jump out of a plane and hit the ocean. Let's see if I could survive. Things like that is what I like doing, earlier,
especially in GTA.
GTA. I mean, earlier I was on a building, and it was like a good 4 to 5 story building, and I decided to jump off to see if I would live, and I lived. I literally hit the street, right?
How?
I hit the street. You see blood splurting, like, and then he just gets up and keeps walking. I'm like, God damn,
I gotta try that.
It was on the buildings when you're gonna go do the jewelry heist when you're first staking it out. I just jumped off.
Okay.
I just survived and kept on walking.
Oh man.
I did some exploring. I went into some of the stores, checked out I got the blowout. Got the big fro going.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
To bring the 70s back.
Sure.
Of course, I must admit, I'll be the first one to say it. I spent a good hour and a half to 2 hours of my first 5 hours in the strip club.
3, 4, 5.
Listen, they have mini games in that damn strip club.
Oh, of course, and you're a completionist.
Of course I am. You got to get the ladies to like you up all the way. You have to touch them while the bouncer ain't looking at you. So when you see him walking, you got to let go. You got to flirt with her. Get the bar up.
How much you spent on lap dances?
Ooh, wow, damn.
500.
I spent a good $800-900. I was balling. I was like, ha ha.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you got.
That's GTA, man.
And then this is the fucked up part.
Oh no.
I was trying to get with this one. Her name was Chastity, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
and I got her bar up all the way, and once it got up there, it gave me an option. I'm like, oh, it says press A to invite home with you, to invite her home. I press A, and she goes, I might be a slut, but I'm not a
What?
hoe. I'm like, what? I'm like, bitch. I'm like, all right.
After I spent all the
I'm
money.
like, damn, ain't that something? So
So what's the purpose of raising a bar
I
then?
guess one of them will eventually say yes, and you get to go home.
Oh, okay. So maybe just not
Just not
chastity.
chastity. I'm like, you stuck up. So I was like,
Man. So how do you make money in
what
a
happened?
game? How you making money in a game?
Well, I actually what I did was when you're driving around, these situations might happen. Like a guy sticks up a lady. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that happened. There was a lady at the ATM. She was walking away, and I saw it because I was at a light. Because I stopped, and I
Yeah.
saw this happening because I saw the little blip, and it turned. It was red and blue. It was blinking, and it wasn't a cop. And there was a guy. He took out a gun, held her up. He went, grabbed the money, and started running. And so she starts yelling, "Oh, help, help, help!" So I just chased him, ran him over, killed him, picked up the money, kept on going. So I just
I think I had
I
that
drove
story. Yeah.
around looking for situations like that. Instead of me sticking them up, I would kill the guys that would, stick up the people and take the money from them.
All right. I mean, because I think I had that in one instance, but by accident, I believe I ran over both people. So
By accident,
I,
I'm
I
sure.
saved this guy that was getting, but I saved him from getting robbed, but I didn't save his actual life, and it wasn't on purpose. I just ran them both over. So I stopped the robbery and I killed both in the process.
It happens.
So that didn't work out the way
It
I
happens.
planned,
It's
but at
GTA.
least I stopped it from happening. You know. But I got some stuff down. I put down about the game. The first thing when I started the game and that opening mission begins, first thing I looked at were the graphics. I
Yes.
mean, the graphics are very impressive.
Yes. 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 They are.
Did you think that when that first when the game opened up, were you like, wow, or were you like, it's Grand Theft
No,
Auto?
no, no. I did. I saw it. I'm like, wow. It's a big difference because I have played GTA 4 recently because you know how
Yeah,
beginning of summer they had the whole sales,
the sale.
and I picked
Sure.
it up for $5 on demand, and I
Yeah,
downloaded
I
it,
did too,
and
I believe.
I played
Yeah,
that. I was playing that the other day, and I was like, man, getting some memories going, and then here comes GTA
yeah.
5, and I put that in, and I'm like, wow,
Big
big
difference,
difference
huh?
in 5 years,
Yeah, yeah. I was impressed that they were able to push the graphics that far this late into the console's
Yeah,
life. But I did notice that was the first thing I noticed is, and plus how big the game is. I'm like, because a lot of games when they're smaller, like I'm just going to give you an example, like Doom 3. I remember the graphics were like jaw
yes,
dropping, but very small,
confined
hallways and stuff like
areas,
that.
yes,
So yeah, so it's less distortion with the
right.
graphics resolution because small areas. But when you got such a huge game like GTA 5 and they're willing or they're able rather to pull it off, it's
Yeah,
really
that's true.
impressive,
That's true.
and that's one of the reasons why it made 1 billion in 3 days. But it's obvious it's a AAA title. The presentation in the game is excellent. Exploring is a lot of fun. But I did walk around a lot, and I would have liked to find more hidden items like
Ah,
the
you
guns
started
and
doing
we
exploring.
talked about this, man. Yeah, and I'm not saying they're not there, but I would say out of the 5 hours that I spent with the game, I spent about 3 just being nosy and
Yeah.
exploring, and I found one item, and the one item I found was probably the same item you found in one of the missions where you have to check these 3 garages for a motorcycle, I believe. There's an armor piece of armor in one of them, and it's flashing right at you, so you can't help but walk over it.
Oh man, I didn't do
Um,
that.
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, there's no acknowledgement that I even picked it up. Like I obviously went over it, and when I went over it, it
Right.
disappeared. But then nothing came up like you now have armor, which gives you 10% more
Right.
protection, or nothing like that. So I believe I picked it up. But anyway, that part, I'm not saying there are no guns to be found. I just haven't found any yet. Not crazy about the controls. GTA controls always felt a little loose to me. I'm probably in the minority.
Well,
Um, I'm not looking.
you know
Yeah, go ahead.
that when you go to aim at people, if you let go of the left trigger, and once you hit left trigger, it'll automatically point at a person. All you got to do is just shoot. So you don't have to
Yes,
sit there with
yes.
the right thumb to try to aim at. You know,
That I
yeah.
love.
So
That I love about which makes killing multiple enemies very
yes,
easy because you left trigger, right trigger, and then you just rinse and
right.
repeat. Left trigger, right. That part's great, but sometimes when I'm walking around, um, small gripe. But sometimes I'm just picking on a game because it made a billion dollars. That's the only reason why. Because sometimes I'm like, the controls, but it's getting used to it. I'm already 5 hours in, and I'm more comfortable with the controls now uh, than I was when I first started the game. So I will say I'm not looking forward. You know how I feel about missions that involve cars and motorcycles.
Yeah, you're not a racer. You know.
I'm not a fan of that. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you two words from GTA 4, and that is Rough Riders. I remember specifically, I'm on my motorcycle, and oh wow, here is a 6-inch curb in front of me. Oh, my motorcycle's stuck on the curb. Let me back up. Oh, a car's behind me. And I felt like, remember in the Austin Powers movie where boom, you're backing up, forward, back, forward. And then it says mission failed.
lost
And I'm like,
lost
no!
target. Target got away.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make sense. And the motorcycles are harder to drive than the cars. It's something I get used to, though. And,
Actually, in my
yeah,
playing my first 5 hours, I did do quite a bit of driving.
yeah.
And I did jump on motorcycles whenever I could. Of course, if you go in
Hmm.
high speed, you're gonna go flying and you're gonna get hurt. But at low
Yeah,
speeds or medium speed, you will not go
right.
flying and get hurt. So, and
Oh,
the
okay.
controls are good and they're decent in driving. And it's not
Hmm.
as bad as GTA 4 was before they did the update. It was not.
I did notice that, and this is probably because the game is so huge. I did notice that compared to earlier GTA games, it seems like they've dummied down the difficulty.
Yes.
It just because I remember GTA 3 and Vice City and stuff like that. I mean, I almost exclusively use cheat
Yeah.
codes. I
Well,
mean, it's just,
I did as
plus
well.
it was
Well,
fun.
I did as well for one reason.
Yeah.
There was no
Mm.
achievements back then.
Ah,
Now
that's so
see,
you had to get your kick somehow.
I'm an achievement whore. I can't cheat on the GTA's anymore.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I know. I will finish the campaign before I do that, but when I do finish it, I'm looking forward to activating some cheat codes because cheat codes for GTA are the absolute
Yes.
best. I mean, some of the stuff they come up with. So once I finish the actual story and I go back and I know we're going to probably end up playing some multiplayer with this game on October
Yes, I
1st
can't wait.
when the
I
multiplayer is.
personally can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Getting together with friends and just roaming the streets, probably
Oh,
killing
yeah.
other players and just being a pest. You know what I mean? Probably
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
couple planes and just start messing with people. You know.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. And actually, this afternoon when we finish this up, I'm going to go back on, take advantage of the fact that the wife and kids are out, food shopping and stuff like that. Maybe get a little GTA
Yeah.
in and have a little fun with
Actually, I
that.
was doing a lot of GTA this morning. Well, yeah,
Oh, were you?
oh yeah. You already know I
Yeah.
had to, visit that strip club. Hey,
Man,
So,
I'm mad because I keep going into these gun shops and I got no money. Man, I got like $200 and I can't even buy anything. I'm like, geez, I'm ready to rob someone,
hey,
man.
you gotta do what you gotta do. That's what the game is. Go into these stores. There's nobody in
Yeah.
there. And just take out your gun, get the money, get out, and get away from the cops. Do what you got to do.
I just I feel bad, man. Yeah, I know it's not real life; it's a game, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like I want to be able to make a couple grand, from a mission, but I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
So And I know that's later on in the
Well, no,
game,
actually,
but
early on, if you do the
yeah.
missions, because this is the last mission that I did, which was the jewelry heist. And
Okay.
after that, man, do you have some money on you?
Yeah, huh?
Yes,
Okay. So the
jewelry
jewelry heist
heist.
is going to be
That that
the
that
one
was
that
my
makes some.
cutoff. As soon as I hit the jewelry heist, that was my cutoff.
All right. So I'm looking forward to earning some cheddar, man, because I got nothing right now. And I got enough to go out to that pluck a chicken place down the street there,
What
whatever it's called,
the
and
chicken
give me
bell or
a three
whatever?
piece. Yeah, that's
But
all I
the
can afford,
chicken.
man. I can't even fill my gas tank. That's why I walk
I
everywhere,
actually, I
But
actually did play some of the mini games in it. I did
yeah.
play a couple of matches of tennis. I was
Okay.
impressed. I was impressed. I'm like, wow, they have all these games within a game, and it played really well. It played like, an actual tennis game.
How did they do? See, again, this is why the game sells the way it does. It baffles me how they made this. Like, it's such a huge game. Like, I went down last night. I was on from like about 10 to 12, finishing up my 5 hours, and I just explored. I did a couple missions, but I went down to where the Ferris wheel
Yeah.
is on the docks there, or where the
Yeah.
pier or whatever. Again, I went down there thinking there's going to be some hidden gun in the depths of this place. Explored the whole area, got nothing
Ooh.
for my
Did you
for
did
my
did, did,
time.
did you get on the rides? Because you could get on the
I
rides.
didn't. I was gonna. I know I was gonna do that, but I didn't. But the cool thing was I spent so much time there that I got to be nighttime, and I was down by the water. And when I turned around, I looked at the rides and the color. It just looked amazing, man. I'm like, geez, how do they make a game this scale, this size, so good? And that's pretty much why games like Saints Row they don't sell like GTA because there's only one
That's
GTA.
true. That's true. And
And
that's not
Rockstar there,
and not knocking Saints
Saints
Row,
Row,
because Saints Row is a good game. It is.
good game. They get good reviews on the
Actually,
last one, Saints Row
Adrian
4.
is actually a huge fan of Saints Row. He actually
Yes.
prefers Saints Row over GTA.
Oh,
Yeah, he
really?
does. I mean, it is a great
Okay.
game, but it's not
Yeah,
GTA. It isn't.
it isn't, and then there's a reason why they sell. It's like they are rock stars.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
perfect name for the
pretty much.
developer. You know. Um, well, before we wrap this up, I just want to say a few things. First of all, I was a little disappointed that the BioShock DLC, I think it's called something about Under the Sea or something with the
Yeah.
sea.
Returning back to BioShock 1.
Yeah,
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 to
Rapture.
Rapture.
I
Yeah.
was disappointed that it says release date early 2014.
Damn.
I was hoping that was going to be coming out soon
Yeah.
because I want to play it. Maybe they just threw that on there because they just don't know the date and they're going to surprise us in the next few weeks. I don't know, but that I was a little disappointed about. And what happened to the Halo 4 DLC? Wasn't there supposed to be
It came out, didn't it?
some Halo 4? It
I
did?
think so.
I don't even know. It's a shame that we don't know that. I mean, really, because
Yeah.
I got to go on and see. Because was it new maps?
I believe so, but see, during that time, man, I was on Blacklist. I was on Splinter Cell
Yeah, that's
Blacklist.
true.
I'm still on Splinter Cell Blacklist. I was playing that last night. That's another awesome game. With awesome multiplayers, and it's somebody who's actually a true
Yeah.
fan of the
I
Splinter
know.
Cell
Oh,
series.
I gotta pick that game up, man. Because
Play that game.
I just started playing the Splinter Cell trilogy again on the PS3. I love Splinter Cell, so I gotta go back. I gotta go back to that GameStop in my town here. I gotta pick it up.
You have to, man. You have to.
Gotta pick it up, man. And there were a couple other things too I wanted to mention. I can't remember what they were because there's always something to talk when it comes to games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so not sure what next week's podcast will be about, but I will have something to say about The Last of Us,
Yes.
the PS3 exclusive that came out in June, because who doesn't want to hear a review for a game that came out 4 months ago?
Well,
I mean, this way people could decide if they want to buy it now that it's in
Hey,
classic
There
section.
might still be people on the fence whether or not to pick it up.
That's true. That's true. So I don't want to exclude those people. X, you want to add anything in here before we wrap this up, or you want to just?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good.
I want to
You're
thank
good?
everybody for tuning in, checking us out.
Yeah.
Giving us a shot.
Yep.
And I hope you keep tuning in, and you will definitely get honest opinions here, not biased, and no fanboyism.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is our first episode, which means it's our newest episode ever. And we will probably see you guys another week or so. I think this is going to be a weekly thing. We'll see how that goes. And we will have some intro music eventually and outro. But, we got to make sure it's not licensed music, and because we don't want to get sued,
for doing a
because everyone's sue happy.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So we'll eventually get this thing up and running the way we want it. Right now it's just trial and error.
Yep.
So we are two guys talking games, and we will see you guys next time.
Adios.
Peace.